Eugene Levy, congratulations on this Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of myself and the hundreds of thousands of constituents that I represent. We wish you congratulations on this remarkable award. I have been a fan of yours since Second City TV, and with your appearances in the Christopher Guest movies, to Schitt's Creek and your 15 Emmy nominations, enjoy this well-deserved honor.
Newport Beach was the perfect setting for an international film festival.
I'm Kate Beckinsale.
Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm Milo Ventimiglia, and you're at the Newport Beach Film Festival.
You don't have to twist my arm to get me to Newport Beach. It's beautiful.
Hi everyone, I'm Michael Schneider, Senior Editor at Variety, and thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the Newport Beach Film Festival. We have an amazing treat for you today. The Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, the one and only comedy icon. You know him, you love him, from SCTV, all the way up to Schitt's Creek right now, Mr. Eugene Levy. Eugene, welcome.
Hello, Michael. Thanks. Great to be here.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry this is the way of the world, right? Because we should have been partying like over at the resort at Pelican Hill, right? Maybe doing some golf, like relaxing, having a good time.
Believe me, I could not have been more excited about the trip to Pelican Hill to receive this and get in a round of golf at that fabulous course. But no, I know. It's just bizarre, isn't it? It's really kind of, it's sad, but when you think about the fact that every single person in the world is going through the same thing, you know.
Well, I'm glad we're still able to do this, and obviously this comes at such an exciting time to talk about the end of Schitt's Creek, but also congratulate you on your second consecutive nomination at the Emmy Awards for lead actor in a comedy. Pretty amazing.
Well, that is pretty amazing. I think the headline there was just the number of nominations that we got, and we were just, Daniel and I were both just so thrilled for the show, you know, just the recognition that everyone got on the show.
Yeah, to end on such a high note, and it's still just, it's got to be so gratifying and amazing to look at this little show that could. You started in one place and you ended up as this phenomenon. And all of you, especially since you're such a tight-knit family group, must still pinch yourselves at what this became from where it started and from where it ended up.
Could not have seen it coming, let's put it that way. I mean, you know, we thought the big prize was just, getting a Canadian network to kind of, put us on the air. And then we just started working on the show and just going in every day and doing the best, we could to put together a show that we could be proud of. And I think the fact that getting on Pop TV is also great to get, American viewership. But I think when it hit Netflix, it really started to percolate south of the border, and then things really just started to pick up. The more people that saw the show, the more buzz went around. Social media was really, quite amazing, and God.
And I know that a lot of people actually are rewatching it or watching it for the first time during the pandemic. It is such just a fun show to watch and binge in these sort of dark times, something that I think people are really embracing, and they're calling it therapeutic. It's just, I think it's helping a lot of people through the madness that we're living through right now.
Well, I think the kind of tone of love and inclusivity on the show resonated with the viewers, especially, in the last couple of years, particularly now during this horrible pandemic. I think, people staying at home and doing more binge watching perhaps than normal. I think the message that the show kind of sends out just hit people in a very positive way. It's kind of a feel-good message. portraying a kind of a town that people have often said, at least on social media, that the kind of town they'd actually like to live in.
Yeah. And so much of it's about family. It's about people living together and learning to love each other, both real family and adopted family, and a lot of great messages that we can kind of take with us as we're sort of moving forward in this crazy world.
Absolutely, and I credit my son Dan for kind of spearheading this direction in the last few years on the show. He's done such an incredible job, and a lot of this really is his doing.
So, Eugene, when I introduce you as comedy icon, comedy legend, does that make your face turn red? Do you embrace sort of this role that a lot of us now have sort of put you in? This is a Lifetime Achievement Award, after all.
It kind of, yes, it definitely makes you think that your career is definitely coming close to an end. I think for sure. Lifetime Achievement, awards kind of tend to do that when you look back on your life and at the so-called accomplishments, I guess. Hard for me to say, but it's always nice when people recognize what you do and like what you do. And to have a show like Schitt's Creek on at this point in my career, in the so-called twilight of one's career, is really something to have, to be a part of it, to have created it with my son, makes it even sweeter. Certainly, the show that I'm the most proud of in anything that I've done, and to have it come now is just fantastic.
Well, when we look at your career and you look at these amazing peaks, that you have these phases of your career, starting, of course, with SCTV, and then moving on to comedy in the 80s, and then going eventually to the Christopher Guest movies and the American Pie movies, and then all the way to Schitt's Creek. There have been these constant peaks that you've been able to sort of experience throughout your career. It deserves to be explored because I remember as a kid loving SCTV, just loving that whole idea of a faux TV network with all these crazy characters, and the fact that there was this amazing troupe of improv folks who I learned later had known each other for years, and now 40 years later are still working together, blows my mind because I kind of grew up with all of you guys through all these years. SCTV, what sort of things did you learn early in your career that you still hold on to now? What do you still sort of grab from SCTV that you still use today?
I think it even goes just even before SCTV. I think a lot of it had to do with getting into the Second City Theater when they opened up. For us, it was in Toronto. Second City, of course, opened in Chicago in 1959 and was an institution by the time it came to Toronto. But when they came to Toronto, and a bunch of us kind of got into that theater, that was the best school of comedy that one could ever have had. And I was so fortunate to have been involved in that theater and just learned some great lessons about comedy that kind of stayed with me. Certainly anybody that was in Second City, those lessons stay with you throughout your career, in both in terms of writing and performing. So that was the beginning of when, even if as a kid growing up you thought of yourself as funny, or even other people thought of you as funny, that funny they were talking about was so kind of raggedy ass. You know what I mean? It wasn't a honed comedy. Second City kind of honed your comedy skills in a terrific way, and also established a kind of comedy that stayed with me through my career, which is character comedy and getting your laughs through character.
character first, which I think has been a lesson that I've seen in all the things that you've done, including the Christopher Guest movies that you co-wrote, that you had such a big part of. And obviously, we always wonder, like, how much writing was there in those movies. A lot of it was improv. It sort of took the best of all the worlds that you've honed over the years, both improvisational comedy, but also character-based comedy.
Yeah, well, what Chris and I did was we scripted an outline. We took the idea that the ideas that we had for these movies, and we formed a story and broke it down into how does this story get told, scene by scene by scene by scene. So we kind of created the information that had to come out in every scene in these movies. And if there was a particularly funny line or a joke that we thought of while we were doing it, we would put that in the outline. But the information that characters had to come out with in these movies was completely improvised by them. How they came out with this information was up to them. But the information that we provided had to come out in every scene to make the story move along. Otherwise, it would just be an improvisational free-for-all.
Yeah. Well, what I love about a lot of the things that you've done through the years, with those movies, with Schitt's Creek, even going back to SCTV, is a lot of this was so experimental and so new, sort of changed the form, broke the mold, did something different. How sort of dangerous would you say that was? When you sort of started a lot of these projects, did you ever approach it? Is anyone going to like this? What's the reaction going to be? How did you sort of jump into all of these new things?
Well, certainly when we started SCTV, we were too stupid to even think about whether people are going to like it. Our thing was, do we like it?
Yeah.
That was the driving factor through 7 years of doing SCTV was, do we like it?
Well, I think what was exciting for me too about SCTV, besides all the TV references, which I loved, was the fact that it was a sketch show that had ongoing characters. Of course, Bobby Bittman, some of your great characters, some of the other fantastic characters. Character always at the heart of what you've done through the years, and your son Daniel mentioned recently that American Pie, a film franchise that you did quite a few of, both feature and direct-to-video. At first you weren't sure if you wanted to do that, but you wanted to make sure that your character sort of was grounded and had some heart. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is true. In the beginning, when I got the script, I said, no, I don't particularly want to do this. And my manager at the time, I will credit him, I guess, forever, because he kept badgering me to go take a meeting. What obviously the script read to me a little on the raunchy side, and the character of Jim's dad was written a little on the crass side, like a guy who wants to be friends with his son instead of being, a dad to his son. So I didn't really like it. And finally, my manager said, just take a meeting. So I took a meeting with Paul and Chris Weitz, and I met these two brilliant young kids. And in talking to them, I realized, boy, this raunchy movie could come out in a different way with these guys because they seem really smart. They said, what don't you like about the character? I said, I don't like anything about the character. They said, well, what would you want to change? Like everything? I said, everything. So we came in, they suggested we come in for a week before we started shooting. I hadn't committed to it yet. They said, come in and improvise with Jason Biggs, who's playing your son, and we'll go through some scenes and just improvise. So we did that. And it was so much fun, and the scenes just took on a whole new life. And really what I wanted to do was change the father and make him be a dad, a corny dad, the kind of dad that your son doesn't really want to spend a lot of time around with his friends, but who knows that his dad's heart is in the right place. That's the direction I took with the character. And then we just did the movie, and I loved actually the decision I made about that.
That leads us, of course, to Schitt's Creek, which, again, in some ways, it's unfortunate that it ended right during the pandemic, because you probably haven't had a proper chance to really celebrate and sort of have a moment.
It was a pretty quiet finish, but then I think, you know, a lot of people had some pretty quiet finishes, listen, the fact that Daniel came to me with this idea was amazing, because he had never come to me for any help in anything to do with his acting career or his previous television career at MTV in Canada. I kept offering, can I help you with this? Can I help you with your lines? Do you want? No, I've got it. And he never came to me, because he wanted to, really, it was important to him to prove that whatever he was doing on his own, through, you know, no help of my own. So that was great. So when it finally happened and he said, you know, you want to work on a show with me, I was really thrilled, and I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that whatever this idea was, let's try and get this off the ground. I was going to do my damnedest to do that. And we started working together, and I grew to realize that, boy, he's a good writer, and by the time we got the show on in Canada at the CBC, you know, I had a few doubts as to whether he had the chops to pull off a weekly show in terms of acting and writing and producing. But it was more the acting and the writing, you know, because what he was doing on MTV in Canada was, he was over and above the live VJ stuff, was he had written and performed in a lot of sketches that were really funny. But sketch writing and character writing for television is a little different. But boy, right out of the gate, he just blew me away. It was quite incredible to watch. 6
amazing seasons of Schitt's Creek, and congratulations on that. And also congratulations on the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Newport Beach Film Festival. Again, I wish we could be at the resort at Pelican Hill, so I'm just gonna have to clap by myself. I'm the only one here. But nonetheless, congratulations. But actually, I'm not the only one who wants to wish you some congratulations. We have a few friends who also want to say congrats, and we're gonna roll that tape right now.
Eugene!
Hi, Dad. Hi, my sweet Huge. It's your second favorite child, Annie.
Congratulations to my beloved and greatest friend, Eugene Levy, on the Newport Beach Film Festival Lifetime Achievement Award.
A lifetime recognition. And you're only halfway there.
I'm sorry we can't be doing this in person the way it was planned.
First, let me say what an honor it is for me to not be there tonight. To be able to tribute you and not really have to do much or go anywhere and just stay home is such a thrill.
Eugene is like family to me, in that we often eat dinner in total silence.
Eugene and I met in 1970 or 1971. I think he was a PA. I don't know. I was involved in my own career at the time. I played a small supporting part in the movie, but Eugene and I hit it off.
And everyone kind of admired him because he had this cool superiority about him. But Eugene's superiority was different. It was unearned.
You know, when Eugene asked me to play Roland in Schitt's Creek, I was a little concerned that he might not be that familiar with my work. But then at the first table read, Eugene stood up and he said, "Folks, we're not going to play this for laughs." And I realized, oh, no, he's real familiar with my work.
I'll never forget the first time I met Eugene on the set of American Pie. And, you know, I was a kid, but he had so much respect for me.
The first day of shooting, I was blown away just watching him act, taking his dramatic pauses and listening to the other actors. And I learned a lot that first day. I learned that those dramatic pauses really were because he couldn't remember his lines.
I felt like you were paying me to watch you and Catherine and everybody else that you gathered around You were paying me to watch your genius and to learn from your genius.
You're very good at what you do, and you set a bar for everyone that you work with. You are incredibly professional, you are incredibly kind, and you have been such a role model for me just in terms of how to be good, generally, and good at your job.
I feel so lucky that I got to work with you, and you are the best example of how to be a human and an actor and do it really well and be funny.
He treats every single person on the set with such respect and such kindness, and I hope to be just like Eugene Levy when I'm an old man.
The first word that comes to mind when I think of Eugene is gentleman.
Comic legend, genius.
Decent, kind, funny.
Listerine strips.
Incredibly generous and kind man.
Considerate, thoughtful, meticulous.
Meticulous. Extremely methodical.
Generous, patient, and slow. Really, really slow.
Eugene never makes you feel like he's better than you are, but of course he is. And sometimes you catch glimpses of that through the experiences of his life and the people that are a part of it. And oh God, I'm not doing a good job of this. Eugene would do a way better speech for me. It would take much longer. He would be like, yeah, Noah, wow, yeah.
He really is everyone's dad. Like, sweetest, kindest, longest talking dad.
He's a pretty special guy. And when he laughs, when Eugene laughs at something that you've done, it is the best feeling in the world.
One time, during lunch on Schitt's Creek, Eugene had a warm can of soda that he wanted to make cold, so he took an ice cube and tried to fit it inside the opening of this warm can of soda. But it wouldn't fit, so he started like rubbing it around the rim of the can and then around the can itself, trying to, I guess, simultaneously cool off the can and melt the ice cube enough to get it to fit inside, but it just still would not fit. But he never stopped trying for at least 9, 11, 12 minutes straight. And that's it. That's the story. I love Eugene so much.
But you know, Eugene, you're special because you are a person. You know, I see people all the time on the street, sometimes in crowds, sometimes alone, and I think Eugene could be walking down that street. He is a person. He's a person too. And I happen to know that the Newport Beach Film Festival wanted to give this to a person.
He has become this absolute living legend. Eugene, I was telling everyone how you've become this living legend.
He's been there for every play I've ever done, one-woman shows. Eugene and Deb have supported me like they do all their friends.
When I played Hamlet at the Tarragon Theater, Eugene and his wife Deb, they came for opening night, and that meant so much to me to have them there. But that's the kind of guy Eugene is. He cares about the people around him, and he lets you know.
Remember at the very end of The Wizard of Oz, when the wizard is talking to the Tin Man, he says, "A heart is not judged by how much you love, but how much you're loved by others." And he's talking about you, because I don't know anyone who's more loved by all than you.
You somehow managed to turn the silliest characters into the most heartwarming, likable, charming people. You have an uncanny ability to find the heart in everything that you do.
There's no one funnier. There's no one more prolific as a writer. There's no one smarter. And there's no one kinder.
I've been a fan of his since I was 16, watching SCTV. And it was a thrill and an honor to work with one of my heroes in this business, and probably the nicest man I know.
I'm so incredibly honored to be your daughter. I am so incredibly honored to have been so close to such an incredibly talented person.
Love you, Eugene. You're awesome.
Thank you. for choosing me to play this character and changing my life.
Thank you for the opportunity that you gave me, for the support that you gave me, for the love and the care that you extended my way.
I love you. You are the absolute best. I'm the luckiest girl that I got to work with you.
He taught me so much about comedy, about life, and yeah, I'm gonna miss him. I'm really gonna miss him.
Baby,
Yeah, baby.
what are you doing?
I'm saying a couple, just some words about, Eugene for this, for the lifetime, in memoriam thing they do.
Baby, this is for the Newport Beach Film Festival. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award. He's gonna receive this.
Oh! What? Oh, thank God. Oh my gosh. Well, I really thought, he's pretty old, so. Okay, God. Oh, it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. Well, that makes sense. Well deserved, Eugene. That's such great news.
Happy birthday, Eugene.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Anyway, happy birthday and happy Lifetime Achievement Award.
Congratulations on this much-deserved Life Achievement Award. You are a great writer and a great character actor, the best kind of actor, and a fine gentleman to boot.
So congratulations, Eugene. You've made us laugh for many, many years.
Congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award, Eugene. I love you.
Congratulations, and thank you for being such a good friend.
I hope you have an incredible night, and I love you.
I love you very much, Eugene, and I send all my hearty congratulations to you.
And a lifetime. Gosh, those are only given to people who are very, very old.
So, Eugene, basically.
Okay, there. Look at this.
You
Are you happy now? Are you happy now?
You will be missed. You will be missed. Now it's your turn.
Well, it was a good life. It was a good life while I had it.
So it's your turn. If you want to say a few things in response to your friends,
I honestly, I'm so taken aback by that. That was one of the greatest packages of tributes that I've ever seen. So funny, so sweet. Oh my God. I'm never one to go tapping, my friends for things. I never honestly expected it, but the fact that they, came through and, oh my God, I don't know. I love them. To be honest, I love them all. I love them all.
Well, Eugene, congratulations again on everything, and thank you. Actually, I should be saying thank you. Thank you for all the laughs, all the entertainment through the years, and more to come. This is not R.I.P. Eugene Levy. More to come. I cannot wait to see what you do next, including maybe a Schitt's Creek reunion something at some point. We wouldn't mind seeing that one day.
I wouldn't rule that out. Would not rule that out. And thank you, Michael, for this really delightful, fun interview. And thank Newport Beach Film Festival for this amazing tribute and just for the effort of just going out and getting all those people just to, say a few words. I mean, I really appreciate the effort, and I feel very honored to have received this Lifetime Achievement Award. So thank you all.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you everyone for watching. I'm Mike Schneider from Variety. Thanks again. Thank you, Eugene, and take care.